Show us your tips. Spring Saturday preview time. Daggy with you. With about half hour's notice at Beaver's actually at a wedding today, so apologies from him. Decided to come to the pub as a result and cheer myself up. So here we are. We've got spring racing to get stuck into. Caulfield and Rosehill are both well and truly on the path to the Spring Carnival. And kick off in Melbourne, though, where at Caulfield the rail is in the 9-metre position. We're on a good track currently. Rain forecast this evening, potentially into tomorrow's card, which does make me nervous that the inside could give out as we've seen over the winter, but we will keep an eye on all of that. So here we go. Fresh track, though, suits my top pick in the first. We're going to kick off with an 1100-metre benchmark 84, and a good little mare's race, actually. But going with the Sydney form here of Dipsy Doodle, I don't think from the outside gate it loiters at all. Jamie Carr gets on her bike and tries to cross those underneath it, Shame and Miss Icelandic and co. He does find the tops. Last two runs have been very good. All but nabbed on the line last start. Before that was ridden upside down on that outside fence day and still ran well. I think it's going okay, and we've seen how well that Sydney form does stack up when it comes down here. So going to start the day with the blue colours. A little deep was the starting point where I started doing the form from here, thinking I would find it on top. Didn't quite, but and maybe that form's a little bit hollow, but next best. And Shame, Miss Icelandic are both the two that gets a suck run on Dipsy Doodle. I think they're both dangers as well. The second is a 1600-metre benchmark 100, where I'm quite keen on the fresh blood here, which is Rhapsody Chick and Rise at Dawn, meeting some of these old stages who just have been round and round and round. Unfortunately, the market is just as keen on those two. They've come up favourite here, but I do think they're the horses to start with. Rhapsody Chick just flying at the moment, has produced a couple of PRs along the way, but has won well, including a nice Sydney win. Jumps straight in the back of Keats, and Rise at Dawn gets a perfect run. All things being equal, will be in the finish. Rise at Dawn leads for Mickey D. Keats is its only other pace, and it will be the other one fighting it out. They're the only two I could even entertain. The market, as I said, is the same way, but 6 from 7 for me. The third is a 1400-metre benchmark 78, and for the girls. And I guess where the track is, how the track is now playing might be the question here. I'm keen to take on Cap de Joie, though, and I notice it's drifted since I've done the form. Look, first up, 1800, first up off 18 months. Does feel a bit scary, Zara and Nick Ryan, but happy to take it on, which means I'm getting about 20% of the market out of the way, so I'm all zooed up here. Lovazou flying, should be in the right spot from gate 4 for Carleen Heffel. Sucks long out there in the running line and wins as it has been doing. I think runs is top pick. From it had to be Zoo, nothing went right. Slightly slow out, ended up sucking back along the rail there and wasn't given any chance, really. Hit the line well enough when it got out. And I think from gate 10, if there's any intent and it can get across, I actually had it mapped sort of closer to the front here. If it does get across from there, it can improve at the double-figure odds. They're the two, though. 6 from 7 for me in the third. The fourth is an 1100-metre, is the 1100-metre benchmark 74. And I went through all these first uppers, went up and down the trials, tried to make a case for a few of them, and I've ended up coming back to the fit and firing Cavallo Rampante, who is on the quick backup from last week, withdrew out there and won well, unfortunately for a friend of the show, Dead Space MMA, knocked him out of his big multi-ed going on the line, just nabbing Big Me, but 7-day backup, comes back, suck run, Mickey D, and it's $10. Looks good to me. I actually think that race last week was a stronger race up and down, so going to put it on top. Very scared of Port Albert, who opened it in the 20s. Very, very nice jump out. Money for it since then. I think the weight's the only reason we're getting that price. So I'm going to make it the main danger. So happy to play. And this is the story of a bit of the rest of this card here. I don't want to play too big, but I'm looking for value with a lot of first uppers and seeing if we can snipe a couple as before the form finds itself as we head into the carnival. I can also make a small case for Miss Margie, goes into an early quaddie on the day. The first of the features is the Group 3 Vain Stakes for 3-year-olds over 1,100 metres. A race that's been won in the past by Cylinder, Giga Kick, Ingratiating, Bivouac, Sepoy, among others. So a good horse race. I'm just not sure we've got one of those good horses here now. And I'm actually looking for another one that's now third up, quick backup from the Valley last week, and that's Blue Stratum. I liked it last week. I thought it won really, really well in the end. Did have a great run there and was quite an easy watch at about the $6. Just up and going. I think they've spied a chance to nab a black type race early in the spring, and a great chance for it here. Fairly keen again. I'm scared of Wonder Boy. Interest Point was a bit disappointing last time out. All of them have trialled well enough since. Done what you expect them to do. But going with the Sign of Intent from Blue Stratum, and I'll put it on top in the vein. The girls' version is the Quizette, another group race over the 1,100 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. Track bias will now play a big part by the time we get into here. I can sort of find some angles around all up and down here with you've got the good horse coming over from SA, there's some Sydney form, and even a bit of New Zealand form. The only horse I want to back, or I'm interested in backing, whether I do will depend on how well this rail's going, is the Waterhouse bot runner, Madrina. Went to Queensland, came back, had a big kill, has trialled like an absolute bomb since, gets control, and we see how well they can come down and snipe these sort of races against some fresh blood. It'll be fit and firing. If the inside isn't slop, it'll be hard to beat here at $9. So fairly keen on it, and might have something at a big price on Kira Billy, which has a Peter Moody setup written all over it. $1 million filly. Went out to Cranbourne for Pakenham, wherever it's gone for the kill. Did have an absolute suck run, but there'll be improvement, and has a little bit of a stink about it. Looks like a typical Moody type, actually. So interesting to see how it runs, but yeah, definitely with this Waterhouse runner there. The Regal Roller Stakes is the next sprint race, 1,200 metres. Pardon me. And I'm going to go with the same stable I just mentioned, actually. And I'm just going to go with the narrative that Mautai's come back a different horse with the Moody stable. Really like the trials going in. Lovely win, as tipped here. First up, gets almost control of this and can springboard off that and improve. I think it's, here and now we're going to go with it on top. The two Kiwis I've found the most interesting runners here. Expressiveness, both are a good price too. Expressiveness has some okay form over there. Trials were good. Damien Lane on gets control. I don't think there's a heap of pace here. Do Mautai, Who Dares, and it sort of push forward, I think. So might have a little spec bet on it. And the Pendragon came over the Guineas last time. Trials have been fantastic this time in. Does have a 1,200 metre win overseas to Quintessa. That's some orchestral form too. And another one, if we get 20s on a day, I'm keen to have something on. Not quite sure I understand the market with Arkansas Kid. Not quite sure there's any guts to what it's actually done. So that's the way I've seen that race there. The feature is the PB Lawrence Stake 1,400 metre Group 2, Mr. Brightside's traditional kickoff point. Obviously, he's not here now, but I'm going to go again with an airborne horse in Munimac. I think it's gone to another level these last 3 runs. It's been very impressive. I know it hasn't beaten a lot. It's beaten winter handicappers, but the tick-over trial since was beautiful. Right part of the track, I suggest gate 8 if that inside is an issue, and at $6 on top from me. I think Gentleman Roy is back to its best. Was very good again. Slightly weaker grade, doing good things last time out. Rides the pace I just think just sucks along behind. Need a new word for that. I've used that a bit already. Sucks along behind Buffalo River here and gets the right run to be in the right spot and in the finish third up. And no knock on Pericles. It's a horse I've always had an opinion of. I've backed in some big races and absolutely understand why it's favourite. If you want to go that way, go for your life. I'm going to wrap up at Caulfield with a 1,400 metre benchmark 84. I had this beautiful narrative written for... He's our Bonneval, but he's not here. So we'll move on. And look, the biggest price, I think the overs in the race is the top weight here, running by. Nice horse. Trials were fine. I think it opened 20s, and that was a big price. El Rocco's gone to Sydney. I like it up there. LAU favourite, respectfully so. Giving Downstar a live chance. But running by the overs in a race that I was much keener with a couple of scratchings in. Quaddie, I've got to do that, don't I? As this wind out of nowhere picks up. First leg, I've gone quite wide here. 1 drifting, 5 Kuroyanagi, 6 Madrina, 7 Manalo Bling, 8 All Woke, done nothing wrong, and 10 Kira Billy. Second leg is 4 Expressiveness, 5 Pendragon, 6 Who Dares, 8 Arkansas Kid, 11 Mautai. Geez, loathe to leave cast out, but first up 18 months, and Vagrant, another talented horse. Good race, actually, that race, but we'll stick with what we've gone with. Third leg was Skinny Up, Pericles, Moonamak, and Gentleman Roy. That's 1, 2, and 7. Let's come home with 1 running by, 6 down a star, 8 the Open, 9 Belle Savoie, and a 2 down the bottom, 15 Sandpaper, 16 LU. $100 gets you just under 20%. We're going to make my best, though, in a card that I'd hoped to get the Beavers form a little bit with. My best, race 3, number 5, race 3, number 6, Lovazou. Value race 4, number 10, Cavallo Rampante. Tricky day at Caulfield, but if we can stick in that, each way range, we might get a result out of that. Let's head to Rosehill. Another good card. I enjoyed both these cards, actually. Whether we find any winners, time will tell. Where the rail's in a true, no rain around, soft day. I think we get to the dead. I think there's some forecast early tomorrow morning. Watch and learn, but I think it should be okay. And what an interesting race to start off. 1,300 metre benchmark 72, where you can make a case for everyone here. And interestingly enough, we've got a $1.6 million Waller horse, a $1.4 million Waterhouse horse, and a $1.8 million Arrowfield Waller horse down the bottom, making its debut. As Flobbers, to get me one, thank you. And not sure. Look, I almost want to make this case for the $100,000 Get a Fix, who was good first up, went and trialled really well, and comes here, gets the absolute suck along on the absolute drag on Dawn Service, and will run well. I think, first use of the track, Dawn Service leading without any pace as Gay just starts to, open the gates on some of her army for the spring. Obvious danger, but yeah, no firm opinion. Honestly, anyone can win. Second is 1,500 metre benchmark 72. Going to put Dr. Evil on top here. I think the horse is flying. Very good behind Green Shadows, sticking to the inside world in the day where everyone ended up on the outside. And at the nearly double figure price, I'm going to put it on top. From Peace Officer, gets Nash back on, gets a little bit further forward. It was the best finish. I think the extra distance will suit as well. Main Danger and Extreme Cat, no knock. Could well win, but pretty much did get the PR. Did look like it was held up, but it wasn't for long. And got home with J-Mac. Now draws out. Probably gets a shade further back. Wouldn't shock, but at the price, we'll take it on. We'll go 2 from 1 in the midway. Thank you, sir. The third is a 1,300 metre highway handicap, where Listomania is absolutely flying. It's drawn out last couple. I think it was gate 13, gate 10 last 2. Now gate 5 gets Lloyd on. I think Siddle's a bit closer. If it does that, it will be in the finish around the $6 mark. I'm going to put it on top. From Medina at a price, who had the Mudgee win, went to Wyong, had to sit outside lead there and retired. But from gate 1, if early in the card, there's no issues there. Gets the softest of runs and probably the overs in the race. And, of course, Super Norwest will be bopping away up on the pace and be the one they all have to get past. The fourth is an 1,100 metres, benchmark 78. And I think the fact we're getting an each-way price around Way to the Stars is absolutely magnificent here. The only reason we are is because it's got 62 kilos, but does get Nash Wheeler. It's going to go straight to the front. Its trials were exactly what you wanted. Nash had all the style and intent of an Easter Island statue as he sat there on both trials. He knows his horse. It's almost one of his project horses, similar to the one we'll get to a bit later. I think we'll absolutely be fighting out to finish in this race, and I'm fairly keen. I was thinking along making this my best of the day. Has to run well. Thunder Lips goes into everything. Very good, and was very good at finishing out Canberra. Trials were good. Piastri, I respect last time out, but what else have I got to mention here? Look, lost. It was good last time. Doesn't actually have any Sydney Saturday credentials, but improvement wouldn't shock. But right now, I think when the blowtorch goes on some of these Godolphin horses, which I'm hoping it might here, they can pop, we'll say. The fifth is a 1,400 metre benchmark 78. And speaking of blue colours, I hope this one doesn't pop because I've ended up with sequestered on top. I've actually found Nash a lot more than I realised here, which is odd, but very good last time. Chased Cadetship, who found the outside fence. It couldn't, and was right in that finish. Gets a gun run here, running line, 3 or 4 back. Will be very hard to beat. I Am Famous is absolutely flying, but has had absolute picnics its last 3. Possibly gets the same again. I suppose Little Bayer, Peshmerga, both mapped to go outside it, but we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, live chance. Something tiny as well is my next thing to mention on Anahita. First up for the Wallace stable, who's given absolutely nothing away in the trials. But it's 30s. We might just find out. Maybe want the run. I know there's, they're not necessarily, or not ever a first up stable. We'll see. The 6 is the Rosebud. The path to the Golden Rose kicks off here. 1,100 metres. And I mentioned the Waterhouse Army starting to open up. I like Shangri La Express here. The trial is exactly what you'd want to see from it, including most recently behind Way to the Stars. Rolls across, either leads or tags on Astropor, and will run well. But I can see where they would make cases for just about everyone in this race. I think there'll be a pocket of the market that really like High Octane, of what it did in Melbourne. Obviously Tarpaulin going well enough, not fully sold in again, and I'm not fully sold on Gatsby's off a Canterbury win and some okay runs. Its trial was lovely, wouldn't knock people, but look, I think Gay up and going is the way to play this one. Quaddie kicks off race 7. And I really like the top weight here, Bubba's Boy again. I was keen on trials. I was keen going that first one. He ran really well. Just another one that couldn't find the fence chasing Fleetwood. Has never missed a place second up. Gets the camp right on the back of Kaboo and Kazoo, who somehow are now the same horse. And going to be very hard to beat. Another one we're getting around $6 for. I like it. Terramata, Main Danger. The other sort of Nash project horse I mentioned is tied to this one. It's never put in a bad run, but it's all pretty much Canterbury in midweek form. Trials were great. Again, Nash just probably got exactly what he wanted from it. Wind wouldn't shock. They're the key hopes in this race. But I'll go with Bubba from Terramata there. The 8th is a 1,400 metre race. I tortured myself looking at this, going up and down this card, and most importantly, trying to work out what to do with Tom Kitten. Gate 1, look, it was a horrid prep last year, all the way from Gate 1. It's been gelded, trialled magnificently, gets James McDonald. I'm going to say that there's more of a chance of the jockeys all splitting and throwing rose petals as J-Mac glides past him on his horse and holding him up. The more I've thought about this, so I'm backing Tom Kitten. $4 goes on top. I think best horse here, if we see the best on it, it'll blow these away. Troughton Lane went back to the trial, ticked over. Dry Track is much more in its favour than what it got last time out. It's an absolute live chance. And You Called It is the best 100 to 1 chance all day. Completely forgotten by this market. Has had a rough couple of preps. Trials were fine. Worth $1 each way. The 9th is a benchmark 78 for the boys. And most of these come through the lead-up, where I sort of end up being against it. Look, Up and Under stays at 1,400 metres. Starts favourite. Might probably get smashed off that unlucky run. Not completely convinced as much under the bonnet if it had have got a run, but we never know. I'm going against what I'd normally do and going with some Canterbury form here in No Drama. I think it's Matt Dale's got this horse flying, and in a past life, this is a horse that's had wins over Holy Man's, run quite well down south, and it's starting to put it together. The fact it's just going to tag along on the back of Roma Avenue, if not outside it, sets up well here, and I think around the $7 or $8 mark. Where's my market? Where have I gone here? There it is. Oh, that's race 10. Yeah, we'll finish race 10. Good. How well am I going? I haven't got drunk yet. All right, that's race 10. No Drama, race 10. We'll finish the day with that. El Rocker, the danger, saved from Caulfield, comes down here. Each way price, going really well, just took too far back. Flying this prep, in fact. And Chad's going well too. So we're going to finish the day on El Rocco and No Drama. Then we're going to go back to race 9. We're going to talk about this staying race, 900 metre benchmark 78. And Methuselah was a nice win last time. Karen Sticks has the big win at the track last time out. As I said, big gap back to third. I've gone away from all that round week form with that outside fence in play. That said, the winner was good and has upside. So he's a little scared of Anoidus, but just my gut is, we've found some winners that had no luck on that card. going to say that looking to Rosehill might be the better lead up and go that way. N10 Rossa was good first up, sort of same at Roundwick, as we keep talking about through the lead up. Going away, essentially. I'm going to take it on with Methuselah, but the Waller runners all go into the quaddie. If that hasn't been confusing enough, finishing with race 9, let's have a look at the quaddie, try and get this one in the right order. The first leg is race 7. I'm going to 1 Bubba Boy, 5 Kazoo, 6 Terramata. Second leg, 2, you called it, 3 K-Off, 6 Tommy, Kitten, 10 Ammo Victorious leading, 11 Charlton Lane. 9, race 9 is where it belongs. 1 N10 Rosso, 9 Adnoidus, 11 Monarch's Bray, 12 Masquerade, 13 Montefelicity, 16 Methuselah, and come home in all that confusion. 2 El Rocco, 4 Cadet Ship, did win, I know, on that outside fence, but it was first up, probably has improvement. Up and under, the unlucky runner we touched on. Zondi, 20s, fresh might be best for it too, so we'll throw that in. 13, No Drama. 16, Noble Conqueror. Again, $100 is in and around that 20% mark. My best from Rosehill is a fine question. We'll make it. Look, race 6, number 1, Shangri La Express is one of the runners I'm most keen to back, so we'll make it. We're very confident. I think 5-5 Sequester does run well as well. And value on this program, we'll finish with the 2 in the last there. Race 10, number 13, No Drama, and number 2, El Rocco. Having a look at the rest of Australia. That was the other bloke's job. He's not here. I'm sorry. Spring's underway. We'll get our act back together in the next few weeks as we head towards the real spring features, and look forward to all of that. Subscribe, leave your thoughts below, leave us some feedback. Good luck, everyone, and we'll talk soon.